tell you. You know how when you grow up, man, you go to elementary school, man, and then you go to middle school, and your parents talk to you before you get in high school and say, hey, man, hey, what you gonna do in your life? And
get your act together.
Right, I don't know what I'm gonna do.
Right.
Go to high school.
Everybody asking you what college you going to.
Yeah, you think about maybe I might go to the military, I might go to, get a trade or something. Man, and then you might go to college, you might not, you get a job. But man, then all of a sudden this weird continuum just stops and you can't visualize anything. You can't visualize maybe getting married, you can't visualize, if you're gonna have kids, you can't even visualize, if what retirement is like. Man, and that is what it feels like to be on dialysis.
It's like you don't see nothing but nothing.
Nothing.
It's just, did it feel like you were like mentally just like floating above, like
yes.
I don't feel like tomorrow's gonna happen.
Yes.
I don't feel like yesterday happened.
Yes.
It's just like frozen in time.
Just frozen in time. And it's like you are just going by emotion. Like you get up, you try your best to stay on track with your normal routine, but it's weird. It just feels like time continuum just stops.
And how many hours were you in there?
I was in there 4 hours, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday.
You're just hooked to a machine.
And I was hooked to a machine. And what happens is life fools you, because on Saturday and Sunday you don't go. So what happens is you spend all this wonderful free time enjoying what you think life is about, and then you forget, and you get up on Monday and you realize reality hits you and you gotta go back. And it's like a bad dream where you never get to wake up. So you do this bad dream Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and then you wake up from it on Saturday and Sunday, and then or you feel like you won't have that bad dream, but when you wake up on Monday, you're right back into that bad dream.
It's like you're stuck in your own prison, mental prison.
Yes.
Everybody, welcome to the 9th Floor podcast with yours truly,
Marshall Parsons.
And today we're going to talk about fear.
Yes.
What Marshall is explaining is how it felt for him in dialysis, this like space continuum, this black hole, if you will. But some of you watching right now, maybe it's not dialysis. Maybe it's fear of you don't know what you want to be yet. Maybe you have a partner in your life that you just have this fear, like this is not going where
you want it to go.
And what we wanted to talk about today was a real conversation about when you get in that space. And I'm sure everybody in here can relate. Give us a thumbs up, like the video, and comment the first time you ever remember being scared.
Right.
I think for me, man, my dad had fell asleep on the couch, and I had to have been, little man, like 5. And he had fell asleep in the evening on the couch, had a cold one, and I had went out the bedroom to get some water, and my dad had fell asleep on The Shining. Remember The Shining? That red rum, with the blood flowing. And I walked past the TV, and I seen this man trying to knock down this woman's door. Jack Nicholson, he was just going crazy.
Right.
And boy, I turned around, where you think you're going to get water.
Right.
And I turned around to go back to my room, and I kid y'all not, it's like at the end of that dark hallway to my room. That hallway might as well have been 100 yards to get to that. And I'm thinking, should I wake up my dad? Right. But then I'm scared to wake him up. So then it's like there's all this fear. And I use that in kind of a joking manner. And that is the first time I can ever remember mentally being scared. But what we want to talk about is that will not be the last time that we experience fear. And Marshall, help me out. So you're going through dialysis, basically 12 hours a week.
That's correct.
So you got a part-time job.
Yes.
Hooked up to a machine.
Yes.
What'd you do? I mean, how do you overcome this fear when you know it's coming? It's Tuesday, 8:30 p.m. and you know tomorrow's Wednesday. And when I get off of work, I'm back on it.
That's a great question, Sean. That's a great question. So I think about the analogy of, I don't know how fearful you were, because we both have been in the military, but I don't know how fearful you were when you first went in, you enlisted, and you knew you had to go, and they called you, and you had to go to.
You be shaking off that bus, you don't know you shaking, you thinking you keeping it cool, but
you know, we all have different types of fear, or we experience different types of fear. But for me, you know, this is one of those I didn't prepare for it. See, I prepared sorta, or at least I thought I tried to prepare for the military, but I wasn't.
But at least you knew, okay, I'm going to boot camp. It's going to be this many weeks. Right.
Exactly. This was one of those things where you walk into the doctor's office, even though the doctor tries to prepare you and says, hey, you know, this is what's happening with your kidneys. Your kidney function is starting to decrease at an alarming rate, but we're going to do everything we can to sustain it. More importantly, we're going to do everything we can to reverse it. And you think you're doing great, man. You get yourself ready, and then the day you go in with this great attitude and you're feeling good and you think you're going to get these wonderful results, and then the doctor tells you or lays that bomb on you, Mr. Parsons, it's time. Sean, to hear those two words.
So you're in dialysis talking to the doctor and like out in the hallway?
This was well before I did dialysis. This is 2 or 3 weeks before I had to prepare for dialysis, because everybody understands if you are on dialysis, you either get a what they call a catheter in your neck first until your not catheter, but it's a fistula in your arm until the fistula in your arm.
Kind of show them that.
The fistula in your arm has to mature. So once you go through what we call outpatient surgery, and to get this inserted, you have to get one placed in your neck for about 2 or 3 weeks. And you all who are on dialysis know exactly what I'm talking about. And this thing sticks out of your neck. You know, they put a bandage over it because, you know, you don't want to look crazy, but it feels absolutely it feels like this huge thing that sticks out of your neck. It is so uncomfortable, but you have to do it, of course. And it's just a step to ensuring that you stay alive. Which now I look back, on that day it wasn't a blessing, but now it's a definitely blessing. You know, the first thing I needed to do, man, was, of course, me being spiritual, I prayed. I asked, you know, the man upstairs, please give me patience with this. Now, if you out there asking for patience, if you asking the universe, you better be very careful what you ask for. Because I'm going to tell you, you might not get it in the ways that you expect.
Because praying for patience means praying to deal with something for a long time.
Right. Or if you're praying to be stronger, or you praying to, you know, for specific blessings that you think you might be prepared for, you got to be very careful, because of course you definitely might get it. So for me, yes. The second thing I had to do, man, when I got through the first 3 or 4 months of being depressed about it, I started to surround myself with positive people like yourself.
Can we please emphasize positive people? Listen, y'all. If any of you all are a teenager, or you have children who are teenagers, or they have been, or nieces and nephews, cousins, the first thing you say to them is, so if your friend jump off the bridge, you gonna jump off the bridge?
Right.
And it sounds elementary, but it's real.
That's right.
Because people will metaphorically make you jump off that bridge.
Yes, they will.
If they, oh man, really? So you on dialysis, man? You thought about maxing out your cards, man, and
you would be surprised. You will be surprised of the folks who are so and to really honestly not criticize, but to I hate to say defend those folks.
They're scared too.
They're scared too.
They're scared. It's fear making them.
Right.
They're projecting how they would feel in your circumstance on you. They're like, no. Look, if you work with me and you are that person, be offended. Let me tell you. Remember when I reached out to you and I said, man, well, of course you remember this. I'm a match.
Yes. Boy, that was the best news I could ever heard.
But I went to my job. And you know, honestly, for me, don't get me wrong, there's fear. Yeah. I have a 14-year-old, I have a wife, I got 3 dogs, I got a house, you know, I got family, friends, it's my brother now. So you naturally in your mind, if you don't think about the fear of giving away your kidney, how much did that person pay you for a kidney? I mean, you better be scared. There is some fear. We're talking about overcoming it. We're not talking about it not happening. Right. And 2 people at my job said, as soon as I told them what I was doing, why would you do that? What about, can you live off of 1 kidney? Why would I give him my kidney if I couldn't live
off of 1 kidney?
Come on, what doctor? Where do y'all think we at? So, one is a big way to overcome fear from my perspective. We're going to give you our yin and yang of it. Education. Education overcomes a lot of fear.
Yes.
Because once I knew, okay, this 1 kidney will grow
the size of 2.
Take over for 2. Once I learned that more people die in gallbladder surgery, which is still so sad. Right. But once I started to educate myself, and every doctor is telling me, are you sure you want to do it? Because it's going to require a healthier lifestyle. I'm like, I want a healthier lifestyle.
That's right. That's right.
Education is a huge way. There is so much fear when that doctor told Marshall, you going to dialysis. Right. Guess what I bet he started to do? YouTube videos, read on it. What do I need to do? What's going to make this a little better on my neck?
That's right.
How should I sleep? Right. And that's that community of positivity. People that say, it's going to be okay, man. You're going to make it. You know what? I read this article that if you take a cold shower, whatever, but they're trying to help.
Yeah.
Have you ever thought about, look what I'm drinking, y'all. my ginger and probiotics. They said, hey man, healthier lifestyle. You need to work on keeping yourself clean.
That's right.
And that's friends that told me this. Positive people in our life, friends and family. So what they tell you, the positive people, what would you hear?
Well, I had this one friend.
Okay.
And I know she's watching the podcast right now.
Shout the name out?
I don't know if she wants, but Michelle.
Michelle, shout out to Michelle. Florida, right?
Florida.
What's up, Michelle?
What's up, Michelle? Everybody knows Michelle. Anyway, I used to go over to Michelle and I see her husband Bio, and we would have so much fun. And I would get in these little depressed phases every now and then.
I bet.
But this one day, I got into depression and I started talking about dreams and all this other stuff. And I even started talking about the continuum. I said, Michelle, I can't visualize my future anymore. I said, I don't know what's going on with me. I don't know if it's fear. I said, I don't get it. I cannot visualize getting married. I can't visualize having kids. I can't visualize being successful anymore. I can't visualize this big house that I had put on my vision board. I can't visualize these things. What's wrong with me? And she looked at me, Sean, and she said, stop. She put her hand in my face. She said, stop.
I've seen her do that at work before. Michelle, I don't know if you remember.
She said,
every now and then you would be my manager on Sundays. I was like 19.
All right. She said, Marshall, first of all, I know whose you belong to. And number one, I know who you are as a man, as a leader, as a potential father, a potential, she said, look, there are so many things ahead of your life that are planned for you. But what happens, y'all, is, and this is for all of you, please listen to me.
Yeah.
Everybody, whatever you're fearing, it is the job of what I consider, I'm not going to say the name, but I'll call him the adversary or that negative spirit. If you want to use it as the universe, it is the job of that negative spirit to put obstacles and adversity in your way.
Confusion.
To confuse you. To slow you down.
Yep.
To even make you give up. That is the job. That, you can't get away from things like that. It is up to you to learn how to either overcome them or run through it or get help with it.
And sometimes that negativity could come from somebody you love.
Man,
it could come from
strangers,
family.
Strangers. It's okay.
A stranger has no incentive to say, you ain't.
I walk up to you, right? I walk up to you and a stranger. You don't know me, and I tell you, bruh, you ain't gonna make it. I don't know who you think you are.
Man, you looking bad. You taking care of yourself.
I say, bro, I laugh. I said, who are you?
It's 11 out of 10 times. Let me repeat that. 11 out of 10 times. Yes. It's going to come from somebody you love.
Right.
Or it will come from you.
Yes.
It could come from
exactly right.
It could come from a mama, a daddy, a husband, a wife, a brother, a sister, your own kids. Some of y'all got ungrateful kids. Right. You're sick in your kid. Look, you know how. Look, this is my segment. If your kids are ungrateful, and you are from San Antonio, drop they little off on WW White. Come back in an hour. And the reason I say that is we're joking, but we're not. In the sense of we want to prepare you that when life happens, a majority of the time, it will come from someone that you have shared life with. It will not come from a stranger.
No.
And that being said, Marshall struck such a positive nerve with me because I read a book from David Goggins, Can't Hurt Me. I sent it to you after we got out of surgery. Mm-hmm. Yep. And I listened to this on audiobook in the hospital for 4 days in a very dark place. But one thing that I learned a lot of things. Everybody needs to have that cookie jar. And inside of that cookie jar is who you are. Mm-hmm. I'm a great wife. I'm a good husband. Mm-hmm. I'm a leader. Right. I'm a son. And when fear happens, you need to quickly get to that cookie jar and say, hold on. My name is Marshall. And I come from North Carolina in an area where not a lot of people make it out. And I did. And then you can grab that out.
Right.
And then you can say to yourself, hold on. I know who I am.
That's right.
I went to the military. He went to the Army. I went to the Navy.
Right.
I made it through basic training. Hold on.
Right. That's right.
And guess what we just did? And this is why we're doing this podcast. This is why we're brave enough to talk to you.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
His kidney, God allowing me to give him that kidney. Oh, we got a big cookie in that cookie jar.
That's right. That's
and
right.
when life happens, what he went through, that scar is not in vain.
That's right.
So when life happens, he can say, hold on, life. Hold on, enemy. Time out. Yeah, this not 12 hours of dialysis.
That's right.
I'm not even about to let this. So when life is happening to you, embrace what's happening.
There you go.
Because what I need you to understand is God is giving you
there you go.
a cookie in that jar. And the reason we see a lot of people break down and we want to help you, when life happened, you ran.
That's right.
So you didn't get a jar empty.
Sean, there are a lot of people. When you get to the job, whatever job or whatever thing that you're involved in, I know a lot of you've heard enjoy the process. And you know, someone telling you that enjoy the process when you're on dialysis will probably sound nuts and crazy, right?
Make you block them.
Right, because if somebody told me to enjoy the process when I got on dialysis,
man, enjoy that scar.
Yeah, enjoy that tube coming out of your neck and this tube that's got these big needles that they got to stick in your arm in order for them to pull all your blood out, 99% of your blood, filter it, and then put it back in to make sure that you can live for the next 2 days or 3 days until you get your next session. But what I'm telling you is there has to be something psychological for you to either rebuild your faith or psych yourself out to start to understand that you've been chosen for this opportunity. Sometimes, yes, things happen because of circumstances. Some of us have grown up with illnesses or ailments or chronic illnesses, diseases that unfortunately will cause us.
Absent parents.
Or absent parents.
I mean, everything. Life deals you a hand.
Life deals everybody a hand. And it's up to that individual, it's up to you to ensure that you figure out how to play that hand. You know, I love to play spades and I love to play poker. And you can, and in poker, if anyone plays poker, everybody knows the best poker players are the ones that bluff the best. In other words, you can have the worst of the worst hand.
Control their emotions.
But it's up to you to control your emotions. So the other person, your opponents, think that you have the best hand.
And the reason they can do it is, in that cookie jar, they can pull out when they won.
That's right.
6 months ago. They can pull out when they, so that calm over them is what I like to call humble confidence. It's that I've had this hand before.
Yep.
And won. I'm telling you, everybody says when life gives you lemons, make lemonade. I say when life gives you lemons, make lemonade, lemon freeze pops, lemon.
That's
you find 1,000 ways how to use that lemon. Because I'm telling you all, this is the best thing I could say to you. If you're one of those people, because I've been one of those people, you ever know those people that go to work and every time you talk to them, they're like, oh man, Marshall, my back,
negative,
my elbow,
yes,
man. You know what my husband said to me yesterday? Oh, my kid, it's because you keep looking at life that way, you keep getting more of that.
Right.
Because you've never overcome that thing.
Nope.
So it's not in the cookie jar. And this ain't beating you down. What it's doing is, because we've both been there.
Right.
Oh, we've been there.
Right.
We're telling you how to get out.
That's right.
How to get out. And you got to remind yourself, whoever you are, you've been through something.
Right. Now, let's digress for a minute.
Okay.
We understand from a human perspective that it is okay to be human.
Ooh.
It is okay to have those emotions.
It's preferred.
Right. Neither of us are telling you that to have those emotions or to experience them is wrong or is weak.
It's the process. Like you said, it's
That's
part of
right.
it. Yeah.
It's what you do when you start experiencing that emotion that enables you to either, come out, drive yourself out of it, or stay consistent within it. Sean talked about family, and we all have family members that you ever have that family member that everybody says, man, this family member is so intelligent, so talented, so this, and and you expect that family member to just blow up. And for whatever reason, life, like we talked about, life hits that family member. And for some reason, that family member has the most difficulty trying to get out of that rut. And now, and I ain't talking about for 1 year, I ain't talking about for 2 years, I ain't talking about for 10 years, I'm talking about maybe 20, 30 years, and you wondering yourself, I remember when I knew this person.
They were so smart in school. They
Yes.
they were valedictorian.
Everything. You thinking myself, like, what can I do to help you? What can I say to get you, to that moment of bliss that you were when you were straight A's in school, or you were running that 100 and you came in first, and you were on the basketball team and you were hitting 40 points. You were on the football team and you were wide receiver. You had 5 receptions, or you were the quarterback and you threw 5 catches to that wide receiver. Those type of people that you look at and say, man, I would want to be like that person, or I'm gonna strive to be like that. What we're getting to is life is going to happen, and there has to be a time, even when if it's dialysis or anything that comes your way, you're gonna have to learn how to say, okay, you know what? Like Sean said, I'm gonna think back to some adversity, some things that I've gone through, and help myself. Even if I had somebody to help me get through that, I can do this too. I can make it through this.
Because what we're saying is, there comes a. That was a great answer. It was.
But we're gonna give the
can I remix it?
You can remix
it. There comes a time though when there's this tough love accountability. Because the last thing you don't want to be is Al Bundy telling everybody about the 4 touchdowns in your high school game while you as a shoe salesman. And what we're saying is, don't rest on your past, but use it when you need to pull in that jar and then go forward. Some of you all put your hand in the cookie jar and then you leave it in there. You stay fantasizing about the past. And what we're saying is to use it as a tool to remind yourself. And if you can't remind yourself, and this is a big one, and this is big in every community, but I'm going to talk for a short segment about a specific community. Black people. If you don't mind. We got to be okay with not being okay. And if you need a therapist to help you find that cookie jar, there is no shame. I'm not saying this don't happen in every other community, but I have heard people very loud in my community say, I ain't got no time for no therapist.
And okay, can I
you remix it? Okay.
If the therapist is your minister, then that's your therapist. And you can call him the minister.
Oh, sure.
If the therapist is your mama, and you know your mama is going to give you advice that's going to hold you accountable, then you talk to your mama. If it's your brother, but you need somebody who is going to be honest enough, transparent enough, but more importantly, they're going to be supportive enough to not only give you, because if Michelle hadn't been real with me,
your therapist,
yes, if she hadn't been real with me and told me you need to pick up your mat and walk, and I know you have the capabilities. Now, what she could have done, she could have said, "Oh, Marshall, Whoa, it's me too. I understand.
Really? My back too. We can just sit here and watch soaps together. And you know what? I'm telling you, and let me say something because I got to emphasize this. If Uncle Elroy is drunk at every barbecue and you have a drinking problem, he's not a therapist. No. He's an enabler. No. So you got to make sure that whoever you deem your therapist tells you the truth. Right. And the reason I highly encourage some of you all, if you need it, whoever you are, man, woman, black, white, green, orange, what I like about the time I have spent with a therapist, they don't know me. Right. So it's not like they're going to look at me through the lens of, boy, when you were 6 years old, I used to think you was going to be Barack Obama. And I'm talking about an issue at my job and you bringing up Barack Obama. So, you have to seek out the truth. Right. Seek out positivity. Right. And a big thing that I want to give you credit for is that when the negativity came, you found a way to turn it into a positive. Right. You would go, well, you know what? Because remember, if negativity would hit you and you go, you know what? Well, I must be getting close to my answer.
That's right.
I must be getting close to my answer.
Next, the next level is loving yourself. So, Sean, let me tell you what happened.
That is so hard to do.
I got dialysis, right? Okay. And I started going to the mirror and I started criticizing myself. I started going back, reminiscing on all this stuff that I could have done that I was reaping in this.
So you felt like any glass of alcohol, any argument you got into somebody, you felt like all of that was why you're here.
For those of you who are so spiritual and in God and all this stuff, and you start talking about how I sinned and all how I've done so wrong and how I've wronged these people and how I've stepped on folks. Let me explain something to you. The universe or the man upstairs, for those of you who have either whatever belief, they don't care about all that craziness that you are punishing yourself. You are punishing yourself for no reason. And guess what? It will not help you health-wise. It will not help you psychologically. It will not help you mentally. And it definitely ain't going to help you physically. Because if you concentrate on that mess, you cannot concentrate on the things you need to do to stay healthy.
Now let's peel this onion back. Because you know why we do that? We punish ourselves. That's easy.
That's right.
It's easier. Because if you can connect the dot, oh, you know why I was sick? That time when I used to drink a lot in 1982. Then that'll give you a little bit of fake peace.
Yeah, that's it.
You found some peace. Oh, you know what? That time that I told that girl I was going to call her back and I didn't call her back. That's why I got this. Let me tell you why it won't help you. Because finding guilt in yourself is about as equivalent to people that get stressed and smoke a cigarette.
Amen.
All that'll leave you with is a stench and wasted time.
Yep.
If you are watching this, let me help you out. Just in case you've been telling your spouse you're perfect and y'all are next to each other, you're not perfect. Nope. And none of us are. Nope. And that doesn't mean it equates to dialysis. Right. Or that doesn't mean it equates to anybody that's lost a child. Man, you know how many women I have heard? You know how many women I have heard that they lost a child during pregnancy? And they said, man, you know what? It was that argument I had at work with that guy. I know that got me stressed out. No. Sometimes life happens because you need something in that jar. Because one day, something bigger than what you're going through now is going to happen. And you're going to be able to say, I remember when I made it through and I lost my child.
That's it.
I remember and it's so crucial that I tell you that we can only say these things because it happened to us.
Because it happened to us.
We're not preaching to you from this, we have the answers, because guess what? we might hit a fear next that this list don't work. And we got to make up another, we got to add another thing to the list. And guess what? We got the accountability. We'll come right back to you.
I know some of you are walking around, not necessarily intentionally acting like you're the victim, but some of you might be walking around and you're telling people things like, yeah, you know, I wish I could have done things differently, you know, or, you know, maybe if I had taken the meds like I should have during that time, or, you know, maybe I should have let some of that Coke or that soda or that alcohol or that Coca-Cola. Coca.
If it is Coke, it applies. But even if it was Coke,
right. Coca-Cola.
It applies.
Anyway,
we forgive you for that line.
Right? Yeah. Okay. But yeah. So and the thing about it is, and we're going to talk to you how you can get over that. And this is I'm gonna just start it because I know Sean is
sure. Go ahead.
You know,
powerful.
Follow me. You have to stop and start loving yourself again. You have to figure out a way. And I'm going to explain how I did it. When I started looking back, I started to stop dwelling on the negative and I started dwelling on the positive. I started thinking about the things that I had overcome. I started thinking about me going to school. I started thinking about me getting a job. I might not be where I want to be. I might not be a millionaire yet. I might not be, you know, I may not have 5 or 6 kids yet, but I had to start dwelling on the positives. And when I started dwelling on the positives, I started telling myself in the mirror, I know y'all don't think I'm crazy. I started talking to myself saying, Marshall, I love you. You got to tell yourself that you love yourself.
That's not crazy, because guess what? A lot of y'all look in the mirror and say, I feel fat. A lot of y'all look in the mirror and say, man, if only I didn't have this one tooth. If only I didn't have this one tooth right there. You look in the mirror and go, oh man, why?
Right.
My hairline is. Right. So look in the mirror and tell yourself something
that
good.
I am made in the image of the person who made me, and that's a great and beautiful thing. And I'm gonna tell you something. If you don't do that, if you don't do anything else, just say that. I was made in the image of someone that I admire well more than I admire the people around me, maybe my family, maybe myself. But you have to have somewhere you have to have a responsibility that if someone well beyond us loves us enough to create us, you have no choice when you get into this realm of being in the position that you are, whatever issue that's going on, you have to start to love yourself. You have to understand that you are beautiful. All of you out there are good people, are beautiful people, because you are made in the image of the one person that has made me. And now that I love myself, it's easier for me to be positive. It's easier for me to overcome certain things. I do it all the time. I stop at work when I'm going crazy and I think things are about to turn upside down. And I say, wait a minute, Marshall, you're better than this. You can withstand this.
Cookie jar.
Take it out the cookie jar.
Because I'm going to tell you right now, practice something for me. Let this stick, let this sizzle in your spirit. Go to a mirror and see if nothing happens. Some thought is going through your head. If anybody thinks that they can stand in front of a mirror and a thought don't go through their head, so guess what? You only got 2 choices. It's either a positive thought or a negative. See, I don't believe in the gray.
Right, me either.
Either you're going forward or you're going backwards. And if anybody says, "Oh no, Sean, I disagree. I'm standing still," you going backwards.
That's right. Because if you're not going forward, you're going backwards.
There is no standing still.
No.
How about this though? So you're talking to yourself. You're saying, "I love myself." You got a support group.
Right.
You're educating yourself.
Right.
How did you manifest that into something? Was it like a vision board for you? Was it like what did you do to capture that? What was it for you?
Right. That was the thing where, I said to say is I started going back to a vision board, visualize and vision board.
Right.
You can create
see in the future.
That's it. You can create a materialized physical vision board so you can see something positive every day. You can do something on a computer. You can even write down your plans. Go back to writing down your plans, or go back to reading the plans that you had in a journal or whatever.
Voice notes, memos, whatever.
Everything.
Whatever. Yep.
You know, you can even do, I know this even sounds crazy. You can even get on, you know what? There is this thing, I don't know if you guys have, it was a movie, I forgot, and this one guy, he puts on this, he used to forget, he would go through this like weird, Phoenix or whatever you want to call it, and he kept going to sleep and getting up forgetting. So what he did was he started this recording, and he would record himself, and he would tell himself, hey, you are such and such. He would forget who he was, and hey, you are such and such. I love you. I want you to know that you do really well. This is who you are. This is what you do. And you more than likely are going to forget about this the next day, but I need you to play this day in and day out. So bottom line is, even if you record yourself and tell yourself that you love yourself and that you're going to get through this, if you don't have anybody else around you to tell yourself, play that recording.
Yeah,
play
you got to do the Drew Barrymore 50 first dates. Remind yourself, look, but you need that visual reminder. Can I tell you a story? An example.
Sure.
A visual. When I first met my wife, well, I don't want to say first. We've been together for a little bit. Mm-hmm. And she was just stressing. Like life was happening. Mm-hmm. Like talking about like job wise. I mean everything wise. Like life was happening. And I took her down on this. There's a St. John's River in Jacksonville, Florida. Mm-hmm. And I took her on like kind of like the edge of the river, or right there is the river. And there was this big bridge named the Buckman that goes over this river. And I said, how big do those cars look to you from here? Mm-hmm. And those cars look like little Lego cars. Right. And I said, but if you were up on that bridge, you would be terrified if you were standing there by the size of these cars coming at you. Life is perspective. Mm-hmm. The car's the same size. Mm-hmm. It's just, you're looking at it from here and there's that bridge way over there. It looks small because you're not making it bigger than what it is. And sometimes we have things in our life that, man, we make so big. Like that person told me, it happens to me. And I have to call him and he'll be like, now, Sean. He'd give me that corporate answer. He'd be like, now you got to understand that some people, but it's true. Right. It's true that sometimes we make things bigger. It's like, even though this is going to sound, I don't care how it sounds, but when they tell you you're going to dialysis for 12 hours, you can make that feel like 120 hours in 1 week.
That's true. Yeah.
Depending on how you look at it, you can check out. And what I did with my wife was, it's like, I knew there was a point in time, fast forward, I knew we were coming to Texas. And we were in Florida and she had all these dreams, but you could tell that it was like, is it just a dream? Right. Or will I be able to do it? Right. And on her birthday, I said, well, let's go to Tampa. We're going to go have us a little getaway. Y'all, I told her we were going skydiving. And you should have seen the look on her face. She said, wait, we are going to jump out of a perfectly good plane? Right. I said, well, let's hope it's a perfectly good plane. Right. But as we went up, there was a couple behind us. And that plane is and that lady, 50 yards stare. She was
petrified.
That the fear, we have a board here that because we want to make sure we really detail what we went through and what we will go through. Right. And that fear was happening, and this lady could not find that cookie jar. And she had children. And I'm thinking, this lady done pushed out 2 kids. She could jump, she could do this. Right. But in her mind, because with the definition of life is always trying to solve for why. Why? It started to hit her. Marshall, she's like, why am I on this plane? Right. And then her husband looked at her, and then I looked at him, and he was like, why am I on this? They were both in why. And I turned and looked at my wife, and she had that 50-yard stare. And I whispered to the man, I said, open that door and we're going to jump on 2. And he looked at me. Because, most times you 1, 2, 3, jump. I said, we're going to jump on 2. He opened that door. He said, 1, 2, we jumped. I'm, woo, she could hear me. I'm spinning with him. I'm asking him, can I do a flip?
Right.
And she looked at me. And next thing you know, I see this cute little beautiful Armenian woman coming on down. And I hear her, But guess what? The door never opened again.
Because the
other plane came back down and landed with them in it.
Because they couldn't jump.
You need somebody in your life who will tell that person, let's jump on 2.
Right.
You need that person. And I'm not saying I had all the answers, but I needed to.
And that Sean draws back to the donors. For the donors who are fearful to jump for that person that they love, thank God Sean had someone in his life that was not only supportive, but understood the significance, the larger significance of what he was doing for somebody.
Can we be so real right now? I helped her with jumping out the plane. Mm-hmm. She then came to Texas and she didn't open up one business. She opened up 2. She said, you're right, baby. Because I kept telling her, on the other side of fear.
Right.
On the other side of fear, y'all, is every answer you're looking for.
That's right.
Since I was young, there was a voice inside of me that said, you gotta just do more. I'm gonna tell y'all right now, let me be real. I'm one of those people, I want them to have to write on the back of my tombstone.
Yes.
And I'm gonna tell you right now, y'all, please hold this inside of you. Somebody wrote me after the last video. And the reason this topic came up is, I won't say their names in private conversation, but they were thinking about donating to their wife, and they were just like, but we have children, and what if me and my wife both don't make it? I mean, the fear was up here. And then I started talking to him. How'd you feel that first day your kid came home? You scared? Like, can I lay them on their back? Can I lay them on their side?
Right.
But then on the other side of that fear is now this, he said his son is 13. Mm-hmm. But I said, but day 1, you could have never saw your kid 13.
No.
Man, I used to go in there when my son was in that crib and low-key wake him up to make sure he was breathing. You kind of making sure, you got your ear today. Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, he's breathing. Mm-hmm. And sometimes in life, we need to understand you're still breathing. Mm-hmm. That pulse is still there. Yeah. And there's more for you.
That's right.
There is so much more.
That's right.
I can't even put it into words, man. But for you donors, it is possible. And a big part of this podcast was you're looking at one.
Yeah.
I'm not special in the sense what I'm meaning is I don't have 4 kidneys.
Right.
I don't have 2 hearts. Yeah. One go out. You're looking at one. Oh, the star of the show has a beer. All right.
There he is.
But what we wanted to emphasize was anybody can do this. Mm-hmm. We just wanted to challenge you to listen to that voice inside of you. Yeah. There's that voice, and on the other side of that fear. Boy, remember what was it? August 25th. Mm-hmm. And I called you and I said, man, tomorrow, have you processed that when you wake up on the 26th, man, you ain't never, what did I tell you? You ain't never gonna go on dialysis again.
I'm gonna tell you, to be here, am I living life like I want to? Yes. I was going to say sorta. No, I am. Are there things I would like to be doing different? Yes. Does life still happen? Yes. Do you make mistakes? Yes. But I am so much of a better person now from the experience that I had, because I'm able to sit here and provide this information to those of you who are so fearful that you think that you're not going to be where I am now, that I have to help you understand that you got to keep that positive perspective and faith that this day that I am experiencing now will come. It is inevitable. And I'm only saying that because I'm a believer. Now, for those of you who necessarily are not necessarily believers,
you need to become a believer.
Well, Sean is, like I said, he's giving. I'm gonna give you the politically correct answer, which is, seek a different source within you.
Man,
that will enable you.
Look, if you don't believe in nothing, you better believe in you.
That's it. That's exactly right.
You better believe in you. Now, if belief is not in your dictionary,
you're worth it.
Just go ahead and unsubscribe.
Right. And just think of it as you are worth it. There's no, you are worth it. I'm looking at this person and I can feel you. And you are right
Whatever
now.
You believe in, you are worth it.
Yes.
Believe in yourself.
Yes.
And you can only believe in yourself if you're honest with
right.
yourself.
That's right.
See, sometimes a lot of you all, because I've been there, you don't believe in yourself because you lie to yourself.
Right.
You got to start telling yourself the truth. If you're watching this podcast right now and you have told a friend, a family member, yourself, spouse, whatever, I'm going to start my diet on Monday. And we're 79 Mondays from that.
Right.
You have to start to tell yourself the truth that, hey, it is tough for me to stick to it.
Right.
And I need help. I need someone to help me. We have to learn to ask for help. And this is the moral of the story with the fear. Marshall, how did you overcome the fear? Because this is big. This is big. I know a lot of our subscribers have this same thing we have called pride.
Right.
How did you, because this is a big fear.
Yeah.
How did you overcome the fear to finally tell people, I need help?
Whew. That's a loaded question. So part of it was, and well, no part. Let me say it.
There you go.
Let me leave that alone.
There you go.
February, the week of February, I want to say it was 2021. Everybody knows that Texas has this huge snowstorm. I know you guys heard it on the news. We were losing power. We were losing water. People were without. People were going to hotels, going to family and friends' homes. Some people even stayed home and tried to, hash it out. Yours truly got extremely sick. I had an infection in my stomach because I used to do peritoneal dialysis. Basically what that means is I had a tube coming out of my stomach and I would do dialysis out of my stomach. And what ended up happening was I had some friends move maybe 2 or 3 months prior. When I came back, I think part of that trip had caused me to get really, really sick. I went into the hospital the week that it snowed, which was a blessing for me, and because of course I didn't have any power, I lost power. But in the hospital, I had experienced, Sean, the worst pain I had ever experienced in my life.
I will never forget your face. Explain, because God had brought you to your knees. Life will bring you to your knees.
Literally. Not figuratively, literally to my knees. No, in the fetal position to my knees. It was the worst. And it wasn't even about that pain then. It was about the pain when I went in the hospital and they had to hook me up to a dialysis machine with the same pain until they could surgically take out that tube. I had to do dialysis with that tube, with that pain.
And there's a snowstorm.
It was horrible experience.
In the middle of a snowstorm.
In the middle of a snowstorm.
In a once in a generation. See, life will bring you,
man,
that snowstorm. So you're experiencing it. It's the worst pain, your elbows to knees, fetal position.
Which was a blessing. I mean,
a blessing, right?
I'll tell you why.
So now the Lord is like broke you. Because all the pride is gone. You don't feel 6'4", you don't nothing.
Nothing.
How did you not go back to the rut of not asking for help? How did you overcome that?
I wanted to live. Ladies and gentlemen, all of you, you don't even have to be on dialysis. You don't even have to be. You have to find time in your life where you want to live. You guys, some of you are just living, are just moving.
Like existing.
Yeah, you are existing, and that's not good enough. You deserve more than just to exist. You know, you have to. There is someone who has created you that loves you more for you to do more things than just to exist. And existing is just not enough. And when I realized that I was just existing in that moment, and that pain made it even worse to say, oh, you just want to exist? Or do you want to live? I wanted to live. I finally realized that, I was worthy. Because some of us don't think we're worthy. And yes, it goes back to not everybody in this world is worthy of all these things that we desire, but we're worthy to live. We're worthy. If nothing else, we're worthy to have the opportunity to try. We're in America because America, which is the best country in the world, gives us the free will, and it gives us the opportunity to vote for who we want to live for where we want, and to strive to reach our dreams and aspirations and goals. This is practically one of the very few countries that will allow you to go from dirt poor to being phenomenally rich, because all you have to do is put your mind to it, work hard, have a goal, and just keep moving, and you can achieve whatever you believe you can achieve. But I'm telling you, as someone who, I had to realize that I love myself enough, and for that reason, because I wanted to live, I said, I don't want to have to wait for a kidney, which I had already, accepted. If I had to, Sean, if I had to wait, I was going to have to wait. I was going to take care of myself up until that time, but I said, you know what? There's got to be a faster way to do this.
And let me tell you something. When Marshall, y'all don't judge us. We're at Cracker Barrel. We're at Cracker Barrel. Don't judge us. But we were at Cracker Barrel with Sam. Shout out to Sam. Sam is the architect behind a lot of this. Because had he not got us together for breakfast once a month.
That's true. That's true.
You might not have had a platform to tell us you needed help the way you said it.
All right.
Let me tell y'all about fear. The first time he brought it up, I said, okay, I'll do the link.
Right.
Y'all ever been there in life?
Yeah.
Let's be real. Let's be real. You ever been there in life where you're like, somebody needs some help, and you go, oh, okay, yeah, maybe I could help you move Saturday. Long as I don't have nothing.
Right. I know you've had that friend, or they're like, man, I gotta help lift that couch with this person. Let me think of something.
What floor y'all on?
Right.
Oh, you on the third?
Yeah.
That next morning?
Look, man, I hurt my back, man.
Have you heard about them toilets exploding lately? I got water to the kitchen. That's our people's favorite thing.
Right.
Boy, I got a water leak that's just They'll go. They so fraudulent. They'll go online and find a video of a water leak and then send it to you. Shout out to all my scammers. But
right.
But I'm gonna tell you something, and I think this is a good place to wrap it up, to transition into our next powerful moment. But when Marshall said he needed help the first time, it's like he was saying it to me. But he wasn't talking to me.
Right.
But it felt like he was saying it to me. So much so that I felt I needed to say, oh, well, send me the link and I'll check it out.
Right.
But what I learned is, and I really want y'all to hone in on this and turn the volume up. When you hear something and you just think, man, that sounds like they're talking to me.
Right.
They are.
That's right.
That voice inside of you, since you were knee-high to a cricket,
Yep.
has been waiting for this opportunity to live. He asked for help because he wanted to live.
That's right.
I donated because I wanted to live.
Right.
And that first time, I didn't do it. Pre-snowstorm.
Right.
Post-snowstorm, it had been eating away at me. And I'm going to just call it how I call it, a spade a spade. God had told me I was on the way. And if you leave a comment, because I said God told me, and you said, oh, he actually talked to you, let me answer you now. Yes. I was on the way to Cracker Barrel to meet them for breakfast. And there came that voice again. And that voice told me, and remember I told you this, you're the answer to his problem. And it overwhelmed me. It's just like when a woman finds out they're pregnant. I can't imagine what that feels like.
Man.
But I'm sure it's like, oh my goodness, I've been tasked with life. You know, I'm not comparing it because I did not push out a human being. But it felt
scary, right?
Scary. And then I had to think about, man, what is this going to say to my son? That life is about something. Life is about doing something bigger than you. It then told me, man, all them times that I let fear make me do a U-turn, nah, I'm getting on this highway now.
Right.
And I went back and I said, man, before he could even sit down, you were standing up and I was sitting down. I said, can you send me that link again?
You sure did. You sure did.
And let me tell you, when I went to University Hospital, the first thing I said when I walked in there, I said, look, y'all, I'm being matched. So just tell me what I need to do.
And you probably want to stop it there because that's probably going to be in one of our segments.
We're gonna leave. That is our what is it called? Teaser.
Yes.
So join us for episode 003.
Yes, but I did have one thing for dialysis patients too.
Please.
When you do get over that part and you do start sharing, don't get disappointed when people tell you that they weren't a match or because I'm gonna tell you, half of them either didn't do it or half of them did do it, and those were the circumstances, or someone probably did get the approval to go to the hospital to be tested, and they're probably not being truthful. But do not, I repeat,
don't let that break you down.
Let that break you down.
Because I'm gonna tell you this too, and then we'll ride out.
Right.
When we talk about visualize, I need you to understand something that has helped me. Everybody visualizes herself in the fourth quarter making the game-winning shot.
Right.
Nobody visualizes being drenched in sweat at 11:30 p.m. because you're on your 2,400th jump shot.
Right.
We like to visualize only making a game-winning shot.
That's right.
But you need to also visualize, all right, how am I going to handle it? You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to tell that person thank you for trying, and I'm going to keep asking.
That's right.
And I'm going to be tough enough to say, you know what? Well, if one person tried, then my conversation must be working.
That's right.
At least they tried, so I need to have this conversation with this group.
Right.
You need to find that thing.
Right.
Visualize everything. Don't just visualize running through the tape at the marathon. You need to visualize, what am I going to do when shin splints happen?
That's right.
What am I going to do when my back is hurting?
That's right.
What am I going to do when I just feel like walking? Process these things. So then when they happen, you got a game plan.
That's right.
Marshall.
Only takes one, y'all. Only takes one.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Only takes one.
we are so blessed that you all are here for this journey.
Yes.
We personally believe this podcast is going to be big. That I put my intentions out there. And for you, beautiful 33 subscribers that have believed in us before we even showed you content,
Right.
we can't do nothing but say thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. And we hope that our story from his angle and my angle speaks to a lot of angles.
That's right.
And if fear is happening, our Instagram is at the 9th Floor Podcast. If you don't want to leave it in the comments, write us. We check it daily. We want to be there for you because if life is happening, you need a support group.
That's right.
And life has happened so much to both of us. We're hearing a lot of Marshall's story, and rightfully so. But as this podcast goes on,
You hear more of his story.
you're going to find out what makes us tick.
Right.
And we want to be here for you. We're so grateful. We're so thankful. We were both tired. He said, man, I got stuff to do at work. I said, man, I got this thing still on. Our basketball team won the championship today. I said, man, I've been there since early this morning. But I'm so glad we did this.
Right. Man, it was wonderful. I really appreciate this.
God, woo, the room has been moved in here.
Yes.
We are so blessed you're with us. Tune in for episode 003. We
That's right.
appreciate you. What you got for Marshall?
That's it, Sean.
That's it. All right, y'all. Thank you.
The 9th floor.
Hey, the 9th floor. Man, that was a good one.
That was a good one, man. I liked it because we had, I'm glad I did right there because we had each segment and we were able to expound on